It's very ugly, and not much we could do for now. We're going to pump this up to 3-second exposure, and I will start a 5 stack here of 3 seconds averaged, and let's see the result we're going to get here. Bear with me. What you're seeing in the background is the light pollution from giant tigers splattering all the way in the field of view of M16. This is 3-second exposure at the moment. Still gorgeous with no filters. Okay, we're going to fix the image a little bit by adjusting the gamma. And we're going to have to increase the gamma quite a lot, possibly lower the gain. The light pollution is really taking a toll on this. Okay, let me adjust the gamma, and I'm going to lower a little bit the saturation. Okay, this is at default. Let me turn up the gamma fairly high. Okay, we might be okay with this situation here. All right, let's try the stacking of the 5 frame on average, just to lower the noise and see the results. Oh, I might have the camera upside down, Jack, in there. It's yeah, obviously we've got a very, very late upload. I don't know how come you guys are getting this 2 minutes later. I find that disturbing, actually. But nonetheless, this is a hell of a nice picture. This is beautiful live observation here. Considering it's a, here, let me try to up the exposure a bit. For 3 seconds, maybe 4 or 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 might do it. I think it's going to give us the brightness we need. Here's 3.5 seconds. And let me start that again. So you've got about 2 minutes delay, it looks like, 1.5 minutes at least. Delay from what I do and what you people are seeing. Notice a decrease in speed on our internet, and when I ran a test on that, it was no longer being directed in Kingston, Ontario, but in Prescott. When they do that, speed drops quite a lot. Disadvantage of living in a rural area like that. But anyways, here's a couple of images to stack. I think it's very nice. I think last time we had better result though. Conditions were better, much better. Yeah, long delay just like last night. Just can't figure that one out. It's just the joy of internet. Yeah, it's the background you're seeing has a yellowish red tint, and that's caused by the light pollution from giant tiger. Unfortunately. But what we could do is use the zoom and get a little bit closer here. This is nice. Oh, okay, Mary. Thank you for letting me know. 32. 2.24 arc minute. No, this is pretty good then. Oh, that's the parking lot. That's west-northwest. This is directly where the flag lights are. I'm about 5 degrees off of that. Let me look. A bit more than 10 degrees off. But it splatters all the way in the view. You can tell just by the background. If I go north-northwest, it's the other side of the beams because they're wide and they're very, very powerful and they're quite wide. Plus the parking lot also, which is west-northwest. And when you refer to 0.68 degree, are you referring corner to corner diagonally, Jack? So we're oversampled. 2.85 okay, we're oversampled then in this case. Not a big deal. Here, we're going to zoom in a little bit more. This is pretty good, actually. It's quite impressive. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's too bad that the light pollution's in the way. Okay, we're going to stop the stacking here for a moment, and I'm going to try to, we're going to go back to full-size view here. Let me go check if we could locate another target. I'm going to lower the exposure down to about 1.5 seconds, which is pretty well what we need. And we're going to change the value of the gamma. There we go. All right, I'll be right back. We're going to swing the scope on another target. Okay, and we're also right into the light pollution of Ogdensburg, New York, which is in direct sight with these objects. I can't see any stars to the naked eye over there around these objects, but nonetheless, the result is pretty impressive. Okay, we're going to change the gamma setting a little bit. Try to darken the background, and this is a 1.5 second exposure. We're going to pump that up to about 2.5 maybe. Yeah, this is 2.5. It's at 2.5, it's pretty good. And let's stack a couple of 5 images here. A 5 frame on average, just to lower the noise that we're getting. And you can still see that brownish red reddish background generated by the light pollution. Ogdensburg, New York is right in our field of view right now. I can't see any stars in that area. We still pick it up, which is pretty good. Okay, there we go. We've got a couple of stack image here that gives us some pretty good view. I still find I'm going to lower the saturation because it's picking up a lot of the light pollution in the background. So I always do normally. Right now it's set at default 128. I'm going to bring down about 85 or so. Here's 85. Okay. Give it a try on the stacking a bit more. And yeah, the saturation helped quite a lot if we bring this down. Sometimes it just magnifies the intensity of the colors. So it's up to us to balance that out properly. Here's a 4-frame stock right now, and then it's this gorgeous image. And this is very, very, very low. It's about 15 degrees or so at my place here, give or take, maybe 20 if I'm lucky. And it's right in the Ogdensburg, New York light pollution, where I can't see any stars. Not to the naked eye anyways. Yeah, we could, if we do that, the image is going to change completely. For that, I got to stop the stacking. But if I white balance in the background, it's going to throw us off. The white balance it needs a white source. But let me try it out. Let me try this out in the background somewhere. About here or so. Okay, there you go. That's certainly going to help. And it's got the blue up and the green down and the red white down. In this case, we might be able to turn up the put the saturation back to normal level at 128. There you go. Wow, this is nice. Very nice, Doug. Thank you for the suggestion here. That worked out pretty good. And let's start 4 or 5 frames. One way to do it without using a filter. Very, very good, Doug. Thank you for suggesting it. Yes, indeed. Look at that. They got rid of, it rejected pretty well the light pollution reflection. Very, very good, Doug. Excellent suggestion. Thank you very much. That way I get to keep the saturation at default. Mind you, I might be able to further push. Let me try that. The gamma, try to get a little bit darker. We'll go to 1.63 here. Hang on. Try to get it darker. Wow, it's amazing what you could do with electronics nowadays. Without using filters, I'm a big, huge fan of no filters. And Doug, you really, really pulled it through here. This is gorgeous. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was actually. It's just conditions are pretty rough tonight, Jack. I haven't seen if we could see the Milky Way yet, but hang on, let me look it up. So we can't see the Milky Way to naked eye tonight, so we're having crappy skies, as we may say. And I really like the white balance idea that Doug came up with. You can tell he spent a lot of time with this, didn't he? Beautiful. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, here goes the stacking, and wow, look at that. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. No dark frame, no filters, and Doug's new trick of white balance really, really paid off. Thank you, Doug. This is most interesting. Wow. A couple of frames stack on average, and it certainly does the world of a difference for the noise. Progressive scan always will give a graininess in the image, and that applies to CCD as much as CMOS sensors. It's just a wait and read. That's it. It's all pixel scan read, they call, and it always leaves a graininess. Reminds me of the graininess when I used to do film photography way back in the 90s, late 80s, 90s. We'd go to the store and order some 1600 film, and boy, that stuff was grainy. But we were happy just to, and even some 23 or 2400, I think it was, that was available. That stuff was so grainy, but we still managed to have the sensitivity that we wanted at the time. So these sensors here, progressive scan, reminds me of that a bit. That's why that graininess is there. But once you stack 2 or 3 frames, 4 frames, that's all what you need. 4 frames, 3 to 4 frame on average, is all what you need to get rid of all of that graininess, and you get a silky smooth image. Thank you so much, Doug. Great, great suggestion. Wow, this is nice. I'm really enjoying the view here tonight. And of course, the optics in the scope here are just blowing me away. Absolutely great. Here's a target that I've been having a hard time getting last night. M8 and M20. My goodness, we couldn't get that at all last night. It's going in the right area, but it wasn't it. So here, I'm going to put back the camera where it was, stop the stacking, and we're at 2.5 second exposure, as you can see. It'll take 2 minutes for you guys to see that. Going to lower the exposure a little bit to about 1.9 seconds. I'm going to try to go to M8 and M20. These are the two objects. They're in the neck of the woods here of those two, M16 and M17. Yet the scope didn't go to the right place actually. So I'm going to attempt to do that again tonight. I'll be right back. That's one way, Mary, to deal with the light pollution. It's obvious. I tell you, it works really good. Telescope's going to do a meridian flip. For some reason, I really dislike a quadrilateral mount. There's no need for this. Oh, we've got thin clouds. Clouds all over south. I think there's something wrong with the software of the mount. It will not find the high precision star for M8 and M20. Didn't even went into the field of view or anything. So this is M11, and which is higher, and it did a full meridian flip. It's one of the reasons I dislike EQ mount. There's no need for that. Companies should design that way differently to avoid that. But anyways, here's M11 here at 1.9 second exposure, and it's quite nice actually. Here's 1.5. I'm going to turn down the exposure a little bit. And pretty nice actually. Nice colors in the star. If we stack about 4 frames, average, we're certainly going to get some good results. As far as the graininess is concerned, we'll get rid of that pretty quick. And here it is. So whatever that's left on the screen here now is just stars. Thousands and thousands of them. No, Jack, it's not northeast. It's south, directly southeast at the moment. I'm right in the, but it's much higher though. It's about 40 degrees up. Yeah, 45 degrees up at the moment, and it's just above the. It's right above Ogdensburg light pollution. So I'm a little bit more to the left from the light pollution from Giant Tiger. Oh, Lance had issues with the frame grabber earlier, the driver of it, and I'm not sure if he was able to solve that. He was here to pick up another camera. Okay, we'll try that. That's NGC 6781. All right, give me a sec, Jack. We're gonna stop the stacking here for a minute, and let's go try that. I'm just waiting for some suggestion. And yeah, 1.5 seconds good enough. Just let me get back. I'll get up and punch that in the scope and turn it home accordingly. So NGC 6781. 781, all right. Okay, here it is. This is a 1.5 second exposure. That's quite remarkable, actually. Definitely do pick up some colors in there. Let me turn up the exposure a little tad here from 1.5 to about 2.5 seconds. Yeah, that'll do it. And hang on a sec. We're going to darken the background by adjusting the gamma. Right. There you go. That's nice. Really nice. Okay, and let's talk about 4 images of average. Of course, we're not gaining any exposure at all when you stack on average, but you do get rid of a lot of the noise to be able to pull some of the detail in there. So here it is. It's coming, and I really like the trick that Doug suggested earlier to basically do white balance in the light pollution, and boy, does it ever work. Gets rid of everything. Here's the image. This is nice. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful planetary. I love planetary nebula. This is cool. Thank you for suggesting, Jack. This is nice. One thing I'd like to try is up the exposure. So from 2.5 seconds, we'll go to 3.5 seconds. Okay, that's going to make it that much brighter. And let's engage the stacking again, averaged to lower the noise ratio. And that's a gorgeous object. Just love it. Okay, let's wait a couple of moments for the frame to lock on so it'll start stacking properly. Yeah, there we go. Wow, this is nice. That is gorgeous. Beautiful planetary. Nice blue in the center or surrounding anyways, and on the outer shell. And nice red. Let's bring this closer a little bit and observe. Very interesting. Oh yeah. With a zoom, would be better to have a little bit more stacking. I'd say to go higher on exposure. And let's try it out. I just stopped the stacking for a minute for the noise, and this is 3.5 seconds. Let's bump that up to about 4.5 seconds. Whoop. Okay, this is 4.5 seconds. Gee whiz, we might as well go to 5. Yeah, here's 5-second exposure. And of course, we are going to increase the gamma, have a little bit darker background, and then we certainly can turn up the stacking feature. Yeah, we're going to put the gamma all the way up. I've got thin clouds. I can't even see the Milky Way here at tonight. But let's bump up for probably about 6 stacking with this depth of exposure to lower the noise, and then we'll see if we could get so the gain here is at 83. This 5-second exposure, that's unthinkable to say that we're using a 5-second exposure. I wish that Sean Walker from Sky Telescope was on to see that. He has to see it to believe it. Once it stacks enough, I'm going to engage the zoom. Boy, we sure got a lot of details in that. This is a 5-second shot. 5-second exposure, that's gorgeous. And zoom, a little bit more zoom. And should have taken a dark frame because we get rid of some of the warm pixels in the background. 100, and this is 150. Yeah, we'll start to see the pixels. I think 75 was the well-framed image. That is nice. And this is fit the window. It's absolutely nice. Very, very nice. This is a 5 seconds and a stack of 6 image to lower the noise. And of course, the gamma is all the way up at 1.80. And we can still see some of the background pollution here. And there's thin clouds. I can't see the Milky Way at the moment. So we're not doing too bad at all for what it is. Wow, this is nice. Yes, Doug, I agree. It's very, very nice. I like the differences from the center to the outer shell. It's kind of a bluish, greenish a bit, and then it turns into red. Outer shell adds beautiful. Very faint stars in the middle there. Amazing to see all of the amount of stars on the screen. Just to think of that these stars are suns, more or less like ours, bigger or smaller. and they all harbor some planets around them. That's correct. To the 2 o'clock position, it has a slightly different shape than what 8, 9 o'clock position is. It's a sharper side of it. It is endlessly. This is beautiful. I'm going to try to zoom it up a little bit. 75%, and we don't want to go overboard too much. So I'll say my focus is off, or it's a bit soft compared to last night. Last night was just razor sharp pinpoint. It was unbelievable. Tonight, having a little bit more time, and it could be due to the atmospheric conditions that we're having. Thin clouds everywhere, especially south. Pretty impressed about the suppression of any spikes on bright stars. There's no evidence of blooming whatsoever. So the anti-blooming of that chip is completed. Really, really good. Take a snap of that. Actually, hold on. Let's take a snap of that. Yeah, we're going to take about 15 images of this. Those two. Auto capture. There it is. All right. Here we go. Lower left screen, you can see the auto capture 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, one mistake was made here. Hang on a sec. Time slot, so we need to put this at about 6, 7 seconds. Start that over again. 15 frames every 7 seconds or so, because we're having 5-second exposure. We're auto capturing the image at the moment. What I'm really, really impressed with is the live image and the picture image. A 10 image captured out of 15, so we're going to leave it there for the moment, and be curious to know what we could do with it later. Okay, just finished taking those images right now. It's pretty neat. We get to observe live and take images at the same time. And then we're going to swing the scope on 6804 and GC 6804. Okay, there we go. The images are all taken. And what we're going to do is change the gamma. Let's lower the exposure again to 2 seconds or so. Go. And put the gamma at default and stop the stacking. So, this one is called 6804. All right, we're going to go on 6804. I'll be right back. We're going to swing the scope and the dome on it. Okay, I do see the target. So we're going to have to pump that up to 5 seconds. And again, we're going to have to increase the gamma and do a series of stacks. So that's kind of a nice blue. All right. There, this is nice. Wow. I'll be right back, folks. I'm just going to step out for a moment. We'll let the stacking do its thing. I'll be right back. Okay, sure. Auto. Can you change that? Oui. ISO? À quoi? The high. Canon Rebel that she had, and just showed her how the exposure works on it. But anyways, this is pretty neat. Wow, 5-second exposure. This is pretty good. Here's the zoom, 75%. Might be able to go to 100. Hey, there's a lot of stars and colorful stars in there. A lot of hot pixels here and there, but they're well under control. But we do pick up a lot of colorful stars in there. That's the part I'm impressed about. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to return this back to a normal size, and I'm going to do an auto capture and of this image. This is quite impressive. We'll take 15 snaps of 5 seconds automatically while we observe this live. This software and camera combination is beyond reality. This is excellent. And at the same time, we're stacking the images too. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, very compact, very small. But that's a cool one. This is hard to pull. This is nice. That's a lot smaller than the other planetary nebula that we looked at earlier. Hey, Jack, I got a favor to ask you, is to mark down what we're looking at. I don't have a pen and paper here. I'm taking those images, and I don't even know what they're going to be. You suggested 6804. I know this is the one we're looking at now. And the one before, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. There we go. Okay, I don't have a pen to write them down. I'm just going to grab 15 images of each, just for the heck of it, and see what kind of result it's going to give us. We've got 13 snap. Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate that. Okay, Doug, have a good night. Thank you very much for the tip, Doug. I really, really appreciate that, and I'm very glad you were here. Thank you for being here, Doug. Much appreciated. Yeah, that's correct. The M15 does have a planetary nebula in it. It's a red one, I believe, or gold or orange one, whatever you want to call it. Is M15 up at this time, I guess? Something I wouldn't mind going over and try out, actually. Okay, what you call the pictures we need? Hang on. We're going to go to M15 and look at that planetary nebula. In fact, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm going to lower the gamma, and we're going to return back to 1.1 second exposure. Turn up to 2 seconds. There you go. All right, I'm going to swing this on M15. Try to catch a planetary nebula in there. I'll be right back. Okay, here's M15, and it's overexposed, so we're going to have a little bit of difficulties here. We're going to need to lower the, two ways we could do it is lower the exposure. This is a 2-second shot, or we can lower the gain as well. We'll get the same effect either way. Leave this where it was at 85, and I'm going to attempt to lower the exposure at 1 second or so. That's still going to be overexposed. I need to take two separate pictures of this. One of them would be higher exposure, the other one lower exposure. And when you combine them, you've got the high dynamic range HDR effect. This came out at first with our SSI camera back in 2012. Ever since, everybody else been doing the software using that technique. Yeah, this is quite sensitive. What I would need to do is probably lower the conversion gain to LCG. That's what I thought. Okay, LCG it is. And let's increase the exposure a little bit. Low conversion gain is going to do what we need. This is quite bright. Oh, definitely out of focus here. All right, hang on a sec, folks. We're going to adjust the focus. Gotta go to 150. Oh yeah, we're definitely out of focus. Hang on a sec. Let me change a few things, which is this opening. We're going to go back to. Oh, very, very out of focus. Yeah, quite a lot. Okay. Let me work on the focus a little bit. I have to get up here and work on that. Actually, what I need is a bright star. Hang on a sec. All right, hang on a second. We're going to get up and do something different. Hang on.